If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Yeah. There we go. That's the whole... I can't believe it took me that long to think of that. Oh, goodness. But yeah, that's what I was thinking, like... The HMD would be on the right side of the head, but it was on his left side of his head. And we know that for sure. So, if he was looking in a mirror, the earpiece would be on the right side. Would have to be on the right side to be on the left side. So to clear up the whole ear rupture thing. Anyway, order. Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How bitter. Try. You should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume. The I broke the base sorry apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony. Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. No, just under his head he has a terrible haircut. It's hideous. That is. That's what's going on under that hat. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear. Huh. Well, Trite. That's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever? I think that's the only impression of Kudo, and I hope it keeps, I hope that's the only one we ever have to hear. It's, Goda, you could be the only impression of Kudo to ever be around. Just to ever exist. That's fine with me. Wow, I really thought he was Old City for a minute there. Godot's good. Enough. I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of the contradiction you just found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can a lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. Oh, I can explain. Please, if you will look at plans of La Restaurant. Okay, are we gonna get the plans for the restaurant now? Or do we already? Oh, never mind. We already have them. I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, Lords, is everyone sitting comfortably? Actually, let me just. Do we actually have them? Be pretty early on, wouldn't it? Oh, that's the right one. Okay. Yeah. Okay, kitchen. This. Okay, I have a feeling this is either gonna get really confusing or be really simple. I'm praying for it to be simple, but I don't know. We never know. Oh lords, is everyone sitting comfortably? Okay. Lamira was in the restaurant, in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. Yeah, that's like a really awkward place to have a mirror, like, what? Okay, Glennog was sitting there. Kudo was sitting here, somewhere at the bottom, somewhere in the bottom. There is only one seat from which you could have seen the image of La Victim. That was the seat of the table next to La Victim. That was where La Old Man was sitting. After that terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette of him, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep up. Except for the guy breaking out in the cold sweat over there again. Ah, I hate that guy. Wait, which one do you hate? Both of them? Like, Godot or the chef? You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. I need to go look up what volunteers means now. So this starts to make more sense to me. I'm just gonna go with, like, yes, maybe? Maybe it's a fancy way of saying yes? I thought at first it was like, I volunteer, but now it's like, okay, maybe not. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you would. Okay, first of all, the most important thing I want to check right now, which I've been thinking about, we had a picture of... Here we go, a crime scene photo. Can we see the secondary... Okay, we can. But then the vase isn't broken here. Well then, because this is, let me check the floor plan real quick. Okay, yep, there's only 2 tables on the side. The picture was taken from, like, the kitchen doorway, pretty much. So, I mean, he broke the vase, though, and the whole thing was that, like, he broke the vase. Yeah, he would have broken the vase before the picture was taken. So that vase is still intact, like, perfectly intact. Yeah, the vase is perfect, because that's the... Yep. Well, first I want to go a little bit into this testimony, but... so there's only one scene... Okay, let me... Okay, first of all, I just want to know why you thought this was a good idea. So, run this by me again. The mirror was here, correct? We, really? Because I know if I were you, I wouldn't have put a mirror there. It would be in the way. Look who's talking, Trite. Huh? You're obstructing my view, among other things. But, this is my seat in the courtroom! Trespian's charm is that it gives you an impression that you're the only customer. Temporarily placing a mirror in that spot would hardly be in the way. Unlike you, Trite. I tell you, Monsieur, la mirror was here, in the middle of the restaurant. God, I feel bad for Phoenix. He's just getting dumped. He's getting dunked on by Godot over there. See. And where would that be? Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Oh god. Oh boy. Mr. Armstrong, please stop trying to seduce Phoenix over there. I don't think he can take much pressure. Tell the court what you know at once. I attract the older ones too, you know. Handsome. Shall I tease you too? I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. Oh. Godot and Coffee, #1 shipping in this entire game. I bet she has a polka cream skin and a cappuccino perfume. Bien, I will tell you, there is only one seat from which I could have seen. This is the, seat table next to the victims. That was an old man. Yeah, okay, and that's where I, and the current photo contradicts that. The first
So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? Wait, okay, that makes sense at least, Phoenix. Why are you questioning this? Mais Monsieur, it is obvious, non? If you look at the plans, you will understand. La victim would have been reflected in la mirror, like so. If you were sitting at la table next to him, you would see everything, non? Yeah, I'm just, like, at this point, I'm trying to, like... I'm just trying to find everything out that I can about the mirror. Because it's interesting. I don't know, it's confusing, like, I don't know if the mirror was actually there or not. Because there's things contradicting it, but it might make sense in a way or another for it being there. I don't know. It's weird. Really weird. If you were sitting at la table next to him, you would see everything, non? So that's the seat old Seedy was sitting in on that day. When the poisoning happened. Because Godot did confirm that he actually got a mirror. So... the old man was sitting at the table next to the victim. Why does that seem kinda odd? Yeah, I already know why that seems odd. After a terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror and it was not in the way. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Oui, exactamente. I carried it out of la restaurant then. Okay, so that's what he's saying he was doing while Mr. Kudo was calling the police during that time frame. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself. What can I say? I know how to pick things up, handsome. Haha. Godot actually laughed at something. Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong? I look like the obliging type, non? Naturally, I did not touch anything else. Are you sure about that? I touched nothing except la mirror. Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Ha. Suffering from a case of heartburn, trite. That's an odd thing to say, that I'd be suffering from. Like, does heartburn really have anything to do with this? I mean, I've had heartburn before, and it's, you know, it's not fun. I don't think it really affects memory or my ability to think, cognitive abilities, or anything like that. No, I have just as a thing for that. An oil golden mirror and Frankensteins. I have no idea what those are. Add a few drops to your coffee and voila, enjoy. Focus, Phoenix, breathe. I need to ignore these two and just find some evidence. It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old Seedy. Then the only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Trespien that day. Now I've just gotta prove it. Somehow. But he did order a mirror. At least that's what Godot said. So I just wanted to see if there's anything else hinting to, like, what could have happened to the mirror, or what the mirror was for. Anyway, where the old man was sitting. Okay. And where's the crime scene photo? This one? Yeah. Present. This piece of evidence contradicts with testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist. Ha, sounds like you're describing yourself, trite. Man, he's just taking low blows at Phoenix today. Holy crap. Like, I'm starting to feel really bad for Phoenix. Just constant shots fired from Godot in the corner. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist in this photo? It would be this vase. I think it's pretty obvious that this is what should not be in the picture. The vase? What possible connection does that have with the witness's testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have been no vase at this table. because it barely clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. Which one was it? Was it his testimony? How long ago was that? God. Oh, wow, that's really far back. Holy crap. It just, oh wow, that is really far back. That was a while ago. Is this it? Yeah. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. There's one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Wright. That's impossible. The seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tribulations that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu! Don't try to confuse the court, Wright. Obviously the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary. In his own words, I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Oh, chugging coffee again. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we will return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? Huh. You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is yours. It's all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? This is like a whole clusterfuck of them. Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table, and there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all files in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I know the reason. I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Mr. Kudo he made a serious mistake. The ear doctor made a mistake. Why would the ear doctor make a mistake? Victim was a phony. Oh man. That would be interesting. I think that is, yeah. So if the victim was a phony, then that would be, wow, that would be really, is that, oh man, is that really what's going on here? I think that is. Alright, I think, yeah, let's go with the victim was a phony. That's really the only option here that would make sense. Because the ear dodger wouldn't make a mistake. And we already know, well, just saying Kudo made a mistake, that wouldn't really do anything here. That would just circle us back again. And we'd have to go through all this again. We're gonna have to make some groundbreaking statements here, just to get some brains moving and some gears grinding. This case is riddled with contradictions, yet there's one very simple answer that clears them all up.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, if he is a phony, that would clear a couple things up. It's still crazy. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there's nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Just spits it. Order in the court. Settle down or clear the courtroom. Now, bailiff, can you clean that up, please? It's all over the floor. Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here, huh? What did you say? Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning, all for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was the serving girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but there was one, and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening.